facts, and insanity. Let's talk about this. Actually, let's hold off. More impeachment. What's going on with this? And then we'll take a break. We're going to, after the impeachment talk, and we'll come back on with the 2020 election. Who is this Vindman fellow? What's he's going on? I think he's testifying today.
Do you like? No, Vindman testified yesterday.
Oh, it was yesterday.
And there's another person testifying today.
Okay,
so
yes.
Basically, Vindman is this
Russian fellow, Ukrainian fellow.
Yeah. So he's a colonel, a lieutenant colonel in the army, and the Republicans, after he testified, have gone around saying, "Oh, well, he's a Ukrainian," and
interestingly enough,
he's attached to them in his home country, and that's why he's doing.
You think that would be odd, though, right?
But here's the thing: he came into America when he was 3 years old.
Right.
So he doesn't know shit about Ukraine. He was 3 years old. You don't know anything before you're 3. And then he participated in an immigrant documentary at like the Statue of Liberty when he was 3 years old. And then he went on to have a distinguished military career. I'm talking Purple Heart. I'm talking this guy was in battles. He has shrapnel in him from an IUD that blew up that he was there. This is a real soldier.
Has a Purple Heart in Iraq.
When he listened to the Ukraine call and he didn't think it was appropriate. And then he also got the printout that
Do you know why he didn't?
Oh, but hold on. But he got a printout that the government had of the Ukraine call, and they had edited it, and they had taken out certain things that Trump said.
Right.
And Trump said that it wasn't edited. And so when he went to testify, he not only testified that it wasn't right, he not only testified that it did happen the way that the news has been reported, he also testified, which was the shocker, that Trump and them had edited the actual official document to pull out things that Trump had said about the Bidens. So what happens when this guy goes into the public testimony, which will happen next, and he shows up and he's got his Purple Heart and all his military garb on, and he's backed up by 3 or 4 other highly credible people, there's going to start to be some chips in that Trump base, because it's going to be hard to deny all of these distinguished Americans in exchange of supporting a guy who had bone spurs during the Vietnam War.
The optics are bad. The optics are bad. Now, what you didn't research, what we've come to find out, is this guy has a little career in politics as well. Working with Joe Biden. This guy has got a bone to pick with the Russian-Ukrainian situation. So while he may not have lived in Ukraine very long, he has actual great interest in what's going on there. So this isn't a guy from Kentucky that just happened to stumble across this.
Do you think it's wrong that a person who's an ambassador and a accomplished military person and a political leader in America hears a corrupt phone call about his friend Joe Biden, and it's a corrupt phone call that is actually manipulating and bullying his home country into doing something that may not be in their best interest? You don't think that person has a right to stand up?
He can.
I mean, if he's not going to stand up, then when is he going to stand up?
You can leak everything about anything someone may disagree with.
But he didn't leak. He went and testified.
Right. Somebody worked with Adam, and it may not even be him, but somebody's sitting there with Adam Schiff, which we've come to find out. Speaking of lying, Adam Schiff said, my office, he didn't use himself, he said, my office has never met with the whistleblower. And we've come to find out that's not true, that this has been an orchestrated terror situation. So it's lying on both sides.
I'm not sure what happened with the Adam Schiff thing, and I know that you guys have really grabbed onto it. I don't know that it's that serious, but it definitely doesn't help the Democrats.
It doesn't help. Well, you had a secret meeting beforehand.
Come on, Schiff. Yeah.
I mean, look at his eyeballs. You don't think this guy's a little shifty?
I like Adam Schiff.
You really
is he shifty? His name is Schiff. Of course he's shifty.
This guy's full of Schiff. Look, to put a bow on the impeachment thing, as I always like to say, they definitely are in a lather. They definitely are going to move forward. There will be a vote. I don't know why they're dragging their feet, but there will be a vote.
Because we have to wait. We have to milk this all the way to the election.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Let's talk about this, though. How about this? So forget about Trump and the impeachment. He has limited hands in there. How about the fact that the president's official lawyer, we'll roll right into our boy Rudy Giuliani, or as I like to call him, Rudy Colludie.
We'll go Rudy, and then we'll go
Rudy
to commercial.
Colludie. So you have Rudy Colludie, who has these 2 Ukrainian
Rudy
guys.
Colludie.
Yeah. The name of the Ukrainian guy's company was literally called Fraud Guaranteed. They incorporated in America a company called Fraud Guaranteed, and then they went around making illegal campaign donations on behalf of Rudy Giuliani. Giuliani met with them at Trump Tower right before they were arrested. I think Giuliani has the potential to be in legal trouble himself. We're talking about America's mayor here, guys, going to jail for campaign finance crimes.
Yeah, the Giuliani thing's very scary. Giuliani put himself in the crosshairs by aligning with Trump in a major way. We've seen what's happened with everybody that's touched Trump. There's people legitimately in prison.
If you're a Trump lawyer, you get in trouble.
So this guy's got balls. You know what I mean? Roger Stone's about to face shit. We know Papadopoulos and Flynn and all that. So we know that. Rudy Giuliani's got some balls. He's definitely a man of conviction. What I do find interesting that bothers me is whether I believe all this shit that they're trying to nail him on, because now they're going to find a way to fuck this guy. All right. But what scares me is, as a believer in Rudy and what he's doing, and I'm Team Trump, he's gotten very quiet since this shit's come down, because he was all over the place.
And then there was a phone call that went out to NBC where he was talking about Biden's, he was talking about losing money. It was a butt dial. And they went right
I
to
didn't hear that.
He butt dialed an NBC reporter, and he was talking about how he needs $400,000. How is Rudy broke? He's made so much money over the years.
Absolutely.
And,
That would be
and he was
concerning.
talking about Joe Biden. And then now we don't know if the butt dial was intentional to get information out that he needs money or what happened.
Right.
But let me take y'all back in history a little bit and explain how this all happened. Trump and Rudy were friends back in the day. Trump was a big New Yorker.
New York
Rudy was a
connection.
big New Yorker. They were good friends back in the day. After being mayor on 9/11, Rudy wanted to be the senator for New York, and he was going to run for Senate, and everyone was sure he would win. Out comes Hillary Clinton as the first lady out of the White House. She has her own career ambitions now, and she moves to New York as a carpetbagger, as someone that moves to the state to
Totally.
run for the open seat.
Yeah,
and then
cheated.
she gets in a heated race with Rudy Giuliani, ends up beating Rudy Giuliani, and during that race, all this information came out about Rudy's marriage, and it was destroyed, and this and that. So after that,
They played dirty.
Rudy had a solid hatred for the Clintons. And so when Trump ran, it gave Rudy this perfect platform to kind of get back at the Clintons.
He
and
does
now
not like them.
I think what's happened is that Rudy has gone too far.
He may well, listen, Rudy, when they wanted to float him for attorney general, he was like, I will go after them. So the whole lock her up movement, part of that was, if Rudy Giuliani runs up in that seat, that could legitimately at least be attempted. Sessions comes in and that all goes bye-bye, and a lot of Trump's base, that was something that was never delivered. Remember, if you remember the campaigns, and Jesse will remember this because he knows what I'm talking about. This was a big reason why Trump got elected. So they dropped that ball a little bit. I don't know why Rudy didn't get that spot either.
See,
So he not only lost the Senate thing, he didn't get attorney general
There's
either.
some reason they didn't give him the attorney general. I saw that too. I thought that was interesting that he didn't get it because he was talking about how he was going to get it right after the election.
That was the thought.
And I think that what happened is they had Chris Christie was the
Another one.
but he was the manager who was going to manage the transition.
Right.
And so he had picked all these people. And then when they actually won, Jared Kushner came in, kicked Christie out, and changed all the roles. And so that's when those people lost all their stuff. And that was probably the first big mistake that the Trumps made because they should have stuck with that team. But here's the thing. If you arrest Hillary, and she's been cleared on a lot of stuff, you can't just arrest her. That's not enough because you have to have judges on board. You have to be able to convict. And it would have been very hard to arrest Hillary, convict her, put her in jail, and go through all the mechanics of the government. So I don't know that it was realistic that they ever could have put her in jail. Look how hard it is to put Trump in jail, and he's obviously, in my opinion, worse than Hillary ever was.
Yeah, I never thought it would be that easy. That's
Couldn't
for
even
sure.
put OJ in jail, people. You
Yeah.
think they're going to put Hillary Clinton in jail? Give me a fucking break.
That's a good point. We couldn't even keep OJ in jail, or put him in there for murdering those two people. Listen, we'll cue up the commercials. We took this a little long in our first segment here. That's some of the impeachment talk.
You know who else is on the Giuliani train about getting him? Bolton. Bolton told people
he's
that
like a woman
Giuliani
scorned.
was doing a drug deal in Ukraine, and watch Bolton pop out and testify. That would be insane.
Well,
Because he's
Bolton's
a Fox,
also writing a
he's
book.
a Fox News guy. So
Well,
if he goes and testifies as a Fox News commentator with a Fox News backing, you're going to lose some support on that one.
Yeah. Jesse, cue up that music, and we'll go to a break here. Rest in peace, Elijah Cummings. That's a little bit of a thing
I miss
that
you,
happened also.
Elijah.
And rest in peace, Shepard Smith. Your career is dead like Elijah Cummings is.